Good morning, everyone. Have you ever wondered why the Chinese economy is growing so much? In this video, we'll try to explain some of the economic factors behind this growth, especially its currency, the renminbi. By the end of the 19th century, China had become a prominent player in agriculture. The country started displaying technological development and skill enhancements. These changes brought positive and negative changes. On the positive side, we have the development of techniques such as rotating crops and the use of fertilizers. On the negative side, the gap between upper and lower classes became even larger, while wealth got accumulated on the upper classes. After the Industrial Revolution, China observed a shift in its economy. The automation started a real migration of people towards urban centers in search for job positions and better quality of life. Thereafter, skilled laborers were replaced by unskilled ones that came from agriculture. Most often, they were underemployed and paid very low wages, which assured companies to have higher profits and lower costs. On the beginning of the 20th century, China started to focus on becoming a leading economy in the globe. It aimed to increase its GDP by 4 times. This threshold was achieved before expected. The result was obtained by decreasing poverty, increasing per capita GDP, and shifting the economy towards exportations. It is important to mention that the government challenged the supremacy of the dollar with the renminbi. However, the public sector regulated the foreign exchange market in order to avoid its overvaluation. As we have seen, China is able to provide products to the world's goods market at a lower cost than any other international player. This condition happens because of 3 main structural aspects: labor laws, access to inputs, and government intervention. We will now focus on a practical example between the exchange of 2 countries, Brazil with coffee and China with electronics. Let's assume at first that Brazil exports coffee to China in exchange for Chinese renminbi. Under this condition, China will be left with the Brazilian good, while Brazil will have excess supply of the renminbi, causing it to lose value in Brazil. On the other side of the exchange, Brazil buys electronics from China. In this exchange, China receives reais and Brazil Chinese goods. From this scenario, it appears that the foreign exchange market and the goods market are in equilibrium. However, due to the Chinese huge current account, the country is much more of an exporter than an importer. Following this logic, the value of the renminbi would appreciate in order to bring it back to equilibrium. However, to avoid current overvaluation, the Chinese government uses the excess of international funds to buy foreign bonds, thereby eliminating the excess supply of international funds in the country. To conclude, we would say that the Chinese currency is not properly floated so as to bring the foreign exchange market into equilibrium. Yet, there are outside factors such as labor conditions, public intervention, and cost structure of the private sector that facilitate China in assuming an action towards exportation. This growth is not sustainable in the long run, however, as shown by the decreasing growth rates of the Chinese GDP. Also, the world's international standards for technology are increasing, thereby increasing competition in the goods market.
Created using Powtoon.